Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So, taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian, Bo-Katan Kryze. And this figure is, I'm just gonna come out and say it, this is the best figure of the year. I know I've said that a couple times, and I pretty much say it like every video now, but this is the best figure so far this year from a articulation standpoint, from an accuracy standpoint, from just overall fun factor standpoint. And yes, I don't have a super fancy diorama this time, I just have standard background, and I kind of like how it looks, if I'm gonna be honest, but I kind of like it. It pulls focus to the figure itself. So anyway, speaking of the figure, let's get into what she comes with. Taking everything off of Bo-Katan and starting off with her helmet, you can see that there are different blues on here. There are different dents. You can see the standard Mandalorian stuff that goes through. You got the rangefinder, got the detail from the Clone Wars and the Mandalorian, and I just love how this looks because it not only, I mean, it looks animated because that's how it looked in the animation, but it's also accurate because it looked how it looked at the Mandalorian. So they did such a damn good job of translating Bo-Katan into the Mandalorian, into live action, and I could not be happier with how she turned out. You can see inside the helmet there are a little bit of grooves going on, so you can fit the head in there and not scrape it up too bad. Got the gloss black paint on the front. As I said, the wear and tear. Rangefinder does articulate up and down, so that's good. You don't have to worry about that being stuck or breaking or anything like that out of the package. But, you know, of course, as always, be careful. And as standard with most Mandalorians, she comes with her Mandalorian pistols. And I like these, but I really wish they would have had a silver paint to them. Like, they're just kind of cast in this really light gray, not even, there's no wash or anything. There is brown on the hilts, but other than that, you know, they could have been silver. I don't know why they didn't go with, I don't know why they didn't do that, because they could have put the gunmetal silver that's on her, see if I can, there you go, that's on her chest plate, and that they could have easily put that on here, and they didn't, and it's kind of a bummer, but it's not, you know, a deal breaker by any means. You could always just take some silver paint and go along the sides of it. And last but not least, we have her jetpack, and sadly this doesn't have any peg holes, so you can't take the blast effects from Boba Fett and put them on here, but it's not a big deal. You can see her that little canister that most of them have on their jetpacks. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's like an air tank, you know, to let out heat and stuff so it doesn't blow up. But you got the one peg hole that just plugs into her back very easily. Got all the detail, the blues, the silvers. This looks really good. But they even put silver on this and the helmet, so I don't know why they couldn't put that on the guns. But it is what it is. And now going over the detail of the figure, if we pull her in close, you can see this is Katie Sackhoff. This is 103,000%. Yes, I know what I said. This is her to a T. You got her jaw line, her face, all of it. This is her expression. It's perfect. The only thing that really could be better is if they'd put like a wash in the hair or like made it darker red. But honestly, it's not a big of a deal because they probably did this for the sake of making it so it could be both the Mandalorian and the Clone Wars. So same with probably why they didn't put any wash over the belt. They wanted it to be a little more animated. I definitely, because, you know, they put weathering and stuff on the actual knee pads, the boots, the gauntlets, the chest plate, the shoulder pads, all that stuff. They put weathering all over the figure, and, you know, they didn't skimp out on that. So I'm thinking that they did this as a way so you could put it with your Clone Wars stuff or your Mandalorian stuff. And I think that's actually a really nice idea. I personally am going to probably at some point, I don't know, I said I was going to do it as soon as I got the figure, but I didn't. Put a red wash in the hair just to make it pop a little more. Probably repaint the eyebrows because they're kind of shiny. But it's really good. I like the head sculpt. It looks just like her. I'm very pleased with it. Got her symbols on the sides here, which they're painted very well. You can see the actual like scuffs that are supposed to be there, you know, from her armor being war-torn, you know, from the Battle of Mandalore and every other battle in between. Got the nice shading and weathering to the chest plate here, and this looks really good. You can see the back where the jetpack ports in, and it just ports in like so. You just boop, and that's pretty tight fit. You're not gonna lose it or anything like that. And she doesn't really take it off, so you honestly could just glue that on there if you wanted to. You can see she also has a texture to her undersuit, which is really nice. I do wish that there was like some sort of wash on here, but as I said, you know, it's probably so they could make it so you could fudge it into your Clone Wars or your animated display. You can do whatever you want, because the colors, while like on the Rebels and the Clone Wars stuff, while quote-unquote basic, they're still detailed, so you could easily, like, they have a nice mix of that. So I think you definitely could put her into that display, which I will show you size comparisons in a moment here. But she's got the lines going down. She's got the signature Mandalorian knee pads, got her shin guards, and her boots, of course. And now going with the articulation with the figure, I left the helmet on so you can see how well articulated it is with the helmet on itself. So her head can go up that far. Well, actually, her head can go up that far, and that's just without even messing the helmet, because you could honestly take the helmet, half it a little bit more, and get it to rise up. But that's how high that goes. It's pretty damn good. Can go down that far, go to the side, tilt, of course, you know, swivel, Shoulders can go out this far. Her torso is a rubber overlay piece, so the shoulder pads are connected to the shoulders, so they just slide right up inside the overlay here, and no problem, no scuff. Arms can go all the way around, single jointed elbows that go up to a little past 90, swivel at the elbows, and both sides have up and down gun holding articulation. Thank you, Hasbro. Thank you. Can go that far forward, not that great. Can go that far back, tilt to the side, rotation, a little tight, but you can still do it. Legs can go out pretty darn far, can go that far forward, that far back. She can almost do the front, and she can almost do the front splits like that thing. I don't know what the hell that's called. Thigh swivel, single jointed knees that go that back that far, rotation at the knees, which this is pretty damn good. I like VRT. I like single jointed. I like single joints. I think they're better in terms of sturdiness, and also a lot of the time if they're done properly, they can be they have better range than double joints. So then going back, you just kind of got to tilt the foot a little bit to the side here, and then you can get it to go back all the way, and then can go forward that far. And of course, ankle pivot, as standard on 99.99999% of Hasbro figures. And now going over some size comparisons. Here she is next to the Clone Wars Ahsoka and Clone Trooper, 332nd Ahsoka Clone Trooper from the Walmart exclusive kind of Clone Wars line that they had last year / the beginning of this year. It was really sporadic how they came out. Either way, great figures, but this looks really good. I like this. I think this is really good scaling. I'm pretty sure that Bo-Katan may be taller. Then for some more animated characters, here she is next to the Rebels original version of Sabine and the Clone Wars Season 7, the Mandalorian Loyalist. And I think this works. I used to like this figure when I first got it, but as time has gone on, just looking at him, his proportions, all this stuff, God, that figure is trash. We need a new Mandalorian body for just basic Mandalorians. I mean, whew, that is... yikes. And then here she is next to the Mandalorian and wait, what the hell? I think this works. I think this looks really good. I do think Bo-Katan should be taller, though. I'm not 100% sure. The way she was, she never really stood next to Mando. She just kind of stood in front of him and like at a little bit of a distance. So it works, you know, it works for me. And of course, I couldn't let you go without seeing her with the Darksaber. She looks fantastic with it. She holds it perfectly, and her articulation is perfect for getting into two-handed poses. And here she is next to the newer Imperial Stormtrooper and the recently released Deluxe Boba Fett, and I think this looks pretty good as well. And then here she is next to the Return of the Jedi Luke and Leia, and Luke has a different head. He has the head from the Yavin 4 Luke. But I think this works as well. Overall, I really enjoy this figure. She has amazing paint apps. Her likeness is fantastic. Obviously, you know, there could be some weathering on the belt and some red wash in the hair, but as I said, I think that they did that for the sake of being able to put it with the quote-unquote simpler designed and painted versions of the animated characters. So you could fudge it in your Mando display or that, but it could have just been cheaping out on Hasbro's part. Who knows? I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, so I'm going to do that, but you choose whatever you want. But yeah, I really like this figure. If you're a huge fan of Bo-Katan or the Clone Wars or the Mandalorian or Rebels, you know, you need her for the shelf. You just do. And even if you aren't that big of a fan, it's just an amazing figure to play around with, and you could paint it up and turn it into a different kind of Mandalorian if you want. You know, make it somebody completely different. Make it your own. But either way, if you get this figure, you will not regret it. That's going to do it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.